Hello, lovelies. Citrine Webb present and accounted for. My sincerest apologies on the horrific amount of time that has passed between videos. Today, I will be revisiting Asian Dave for a discussion on male privilege. Let's have some fun.
What's up, YouTube? This is me, Asian Dave, aka Fanatical for Jesus, aka Dalway, aka David Shu.
So you do this every time. Well, persistence is key, aka Asshole Asian.
I'm just coming to you real quick. I want to do a video. I did a video where I talk about white privilege. So now I'm going to do a video where I'm going to talk a little bit about male privilege. But I want to make a disclaimer first. Just like I said in my previous video about white privilege, that it's not any person of color's responsibility to educate you white Caucasoids about what white privilege is. Then it's also true about male privilege. It's not any woman's responsibility to educate a man on what male privilege is.
And here we go. Let's put the two categories that you're providing us with into a hypothetical relationship. If person A says something unbeknownst to him that hurt the feelings of person B, and person B takes the stance of, it's not my responsibility to educate you on how what you did made me feel, person A would never know. Apply this behavior to a mass level, and you have mass confusion. I digress. You're about to educate me regardless.
You really want to know what male privilege is? Just look it up. Like I said in the previous video, Google is magic, baby. You just type it in, what is male privilege, and you can learn up on it. I mean, male privilege, white privilege, this is pretty much sociology 101 or social work 101 pretty much. Like if you took in at least one social work or sociology class, you should know what white privilege and male privilege is. Anyways, so okay. Here's a definition, a good definition for male privilege. Male privilege is a concept used to examine the social, economic, and political advantages or rights that are allegedly made available only to men and solely on the basis of their sex. A man's success to these benefits may also depend on other circumstances such as race, sexual orientation, and social class.
Thank you for that stellar Google definition.
Alright. Pretty much, just like white privilege came about from a racist society that benefits whiteness or values whiteness over color, male privilege comes from a patriarchal society that values maleness over femaleness. Hold on. Sorry about that. Anyways, so there's a good definition of it and some examples of male privilege. Okay. First off, I want to address something. We want to think that we're living in such a progressive society and everything.
We do.
Did you guys know that in 1850 the UK Parliament passed a law that that kind of did away with gendered language, like saying he to represent all people and stuff like that, to saying he or she, they, and gender neutral language instead. That was in 1850.
How are you getting this information? And please tell me that it's not from Facebook. I am by no means a historian, but the dates don't add up. I couldn't find anything while specifically looking for this law. So I decided to find what Parliament did put into play from 1845 to 1855. And this particular law, which you are using as grounds to denounce today's progressive society, does not exist. My sources are in the description box. Please take a moment to actually educate yourself before you spout information as fact to your 865 subscribers.
Nowadays, people, it's like we regressed, because you still hear the same stuff like, if you see, like, if you talk to like a group of girls or something, only people will say you guys, and even though they're women, like,
Understood. However, I fail to see how this creates an advantage or excess right to men. It's also a norm to say ladies and gentlemen or guys and gals. At this point, I feel it would be incredibly dramatic to own the offended stance because a friend addressed the party with, "Hey guys."
it just doesn't, like, it's not right to be like, oh, you guys, like. But then again, we don't, when we see a group of guys, we won't say you girls, like, because that's not part of the norm. And there's numerous cases, there's numerous examples of um this kind of language in our society to this very day that is very gender specific. And, like, for instance, when we say mankind or man to refer to all people, men and women, even in my own religion in Christianity, in the Bible, when the Apostle Paul wrote a letter that's addressing the whole church, he says brothers. He doesn't say brothers and sisters. He just says brothers, even though there were men and women in the church.
Now you're saying to read the Bible with a grain of salt. What kind of a person puts all of their faith into a religion, which exists because of a great big book, and proceeds to pick and choose what to believe from it? At that point, you would have made your own religion.
Um, and you could say that's part of the culture and everything, but I mean, it's still going on today in all cultures. Um, another thing about male privilege is it's not just a United States problem. It's a global issue. Just like racism is not just a United States problem, it's a global issue. I mean, you see in other countries where they specifically value boys over girls. They even have, in some cultures, they even have pray for a son ceremony where you have the people literally praying. They have ceremonies where they pray for a son. They don't pray for a daughter, they pray for a son.
Would it be possible for you to produce a source for this? Because using your words, all I pulled up was wedding prayers.
Because they value boys over girls, and there's numerous reasons for why they value boys over girls. Like, the boys are the ones who carry on the family name.
Just to be clear, in today's society, although it be uncommon, it is possible for the husband to take the wife's name. It is also actually easier for the wife to keep her maiden name, and it is also possible for the children to take the mother's last name.
The boys are the ones who join the military, and
Plenty of women have joined the military.
so on and so forth. Boys are the ones that take care of their family when they get older and stuff like that.
There are also plenty of women who take care of their family when they get older.
So there's numerous reasons, but all that comes from gender. All that comes from gender roles, and these gender roles are what we are ingrained with from the time that we're born. So that's why.
None of the reasons you have provided me with have been proven to be fact. Therefore, nothing you have said actually leads to the conclusion of male privilege.
Okay, now, I'm going to also mention a few other examples
Oh, goody.
of male privilege that is probably, it's more relevant to here in America than, well, actually, I don't know, it is global too. But this article that I'm going to read is actually more specifically here in America, though. But these are issues globally. These are male privileges, again, is a global issue. For instance, the first example of male privilege is, as a male, I have the privilege of a short morning routine. I can get up, and all I have to do is just brush my teeth and take a shower, and then I can go about my day. Women, because they are in, like, everything about them has to do with their how attractive they are. Like, they have to make themselves look the most attractive so they can get a good job, so they can get a good man, so they can be looked at with some respect in society, they have to have a long, drawn out morning routine that is very meticulous and very tedious for them.
Believe me, this is absolutely untrue. It all depends on the woman and her preference. Most successful women I know don't wear makeup, have a quicker morning routine than most men, and if a woman needs makeup to find a good man, I would sincerely dislike you making my ears bleed with your definition of just what a good man is.
Um, Another one is, as a male, my gender confers authority. Like from the time that we're born, we are taught that men are the ones that have authority, and part of that has to do again with gender roles. Also because men are more widely represented in authoritarian positions.
Where are you getting this? I can't read said article because you haven't sourced it, and your verbal word is the absolute first I am hearing of it.
So we, from the time that we're born, we're brainwashed into just automatically assuming that men have more authority than a woman, and thus they get more respect than women do when they say something. That's why a man has more credibility, like in our society, than women do, which is unfortunate.
Tell that to Oprah or Ellen or hell. Let's go back in time. Joan of Arc, Queen Elizabeth. The list is extensive to oppose your supposed point.
And also because of that, that's why we have to put qualifiers whenever we have a doctor and the doctor is a woman. We say things like, "Oh, she's a lady doctor," or
Who says lady doctor? This is another first for me.
something a qualifier like that. You can't just say doctor, because if you say doctor, people automatically assume man. Like, so you have to put a qualifier to that. It shouldn't be like that. I should be able to just say doctor, and if I say doctor, you don't know if it's a man or a woman.
That's how it is.
Like, I want like and it shouldn't matter if it's a man or a woman, because both male and females should be treated with the same amount of respect. Um, Third one is, this is more like a physiological privilege that we have over women, and that's as I have the privilege of easy bathroom access even when there are no bathrooms. So, for instance, um, I if there's no bathrooms around, if I went outside around the corner or something and peed around the corner, like, as long as there's like no children around, no one around, like no one, like there's no children around or whatever, it's pretty much it's considered a norm in society that men, if they have to pee and there's no bathrooms around, they will go around the corner and pee in a bush or something.
Because you can pee while you stand. Trust me, if I had to go bad enough, I would pop a squat in a heartbeat.
But if a woman was to do that, that's taboo. But and also men also can hold their bladder longer than women can. So yeah, that's a physiological advantage we have over women, but it's still part of male privilege.
That's not an advantage over women. That's simple anatomical fact. Men can hold it longer. Women can have babies.
Um, Number four, as a man, I have the privilege to show skin. Like if it was hot out today and I took my shirt off and I was walking around with my shirt off, no one would really bat an eyelash. However, if a woman walks around, she takes her shirt off because she's hot and she's showing her titties and everything, like all of a sudden that's unnatural, or that.
How is a woman walking around shirtless unnatural? Uncommon, sure, but not unnatural. Throw a sports bra into the equation, and a woman without a shirt is truly no big deal. On the note of skin, women tend to show much more leg than your average man. This point, like your others, is not valid.
That's offensive or whatever. Like people get upset about that if a woman just took off her shirt and took off her bra because she was hot and started walking around shirtless. But a man can do that and nothing happens. So if on a hot day a woman has to be forced to just be hot and sweaty, while a man can just go ahead and take his shirt off. Like, yeah. Number five, I have the privilege to move about without fear of harassment, assault, or rape. So, for instance, as a man, on any given time of the day, I could go walk around any time that I want, and I don't have to really be afraid of being assaulted or raped or anything like that.
You know that men can be raped, right? There is a part 2 to this. I will be addressing it in 1 week. Thank you for your valued time, and I hope to see you again soon.